Magandang tanghali mga kalanchi at welcome po sa LunChat with CSC para sa buwan ng Marso. Ako po muna ang inyong magiging host para po sa episode na ito. Ako po si Mark Malitan mula sa Civil Service Institute. Ano po ba ang highlight natin tuwing Marso? Kundi Women's Month. Kaya naman, we dedicate this episode upang talakayin ang Women's Month at ang mga ginagawang initiatives ng CSC para makamit ang isang progresibong workplace para sa mga lingkod bayan. Live na live po tayo mga kalanchi. Kaya naman, kung gusto niyo po na bumati o kung may mga katanungan kayo mamaya, huwag po kayong magdadalawang isip na mag-engage sa pamamagitan po ng pagbibigay ng comments dito nga po sa ating FB page. Also, please like and share this live video. Stay tuned!
Welcome to LunChat with CSC. Catch up on the latest CSC policies, programs, announcements, and HR tips. Grab something to eat or drink and chat with your hosts, Mark Malitan and Mundanipo. Tune in via Facebook Live on our Facebook page.
Ayan, welcome back po mga kalanchi. At tulad nga po ng nabanggit ko sa inyo kanina, pag-uusapan po natin ngayon ang tungkol sa Women's Month dahil nga po buwan ng Marso sa taong kasalukuyan. Malapit na nga po actually matapos ang buwan na ito. At para po sa ating episode ay makakasama po natin si Director 3 Sally Petaca ng CSC Office for Human Resource Management and Development. Magandang tanghali, Ma'am Sally.
Good afternoon, Mark, and to all our kalanchis from all over the Philippines and from abroad. So magandang tanghali at Happy Women's Month to all women and girls who are watching.
Yes, binabati po natin yung ating mga live viewers pero Director Sally, hindi na natin patatagalin tayo mga katanungan po natin. Unang-una po, pag-usapan natin ang tungkol nga sa kahalagahan nitong month celebration po natin na ito. Bakit po ba mayroon tayong Women's Month celebration? Bakit siya mahalaga sa mga government workers to join, lalo na sa ating celebrations spearheaded by the Philippine Commission on Women?
Yes, Mark, we have actually issuances which serve as our legal basis for the annual Women's Month in March. In particular, we have Proclamation number 224, series of 1988, declaring the first week of March each year as Women's Week and March 8 as Women's Rights and International Peace Day. And we also have another proclamation, number 227, series of 1988, providing for the observance of the month of March as Women's Role in History Month. And we have a law, Republic Act 6949, which was promulgated in 1990, declaring March 8 of every year as National Women's Day. So the celebration, Mark, went on from 1 day to 1 week and to 1 month. But why March? It traces its roots back in the 1900s, in particular in the United States of America. At that time, there were garment workers who were fighting for their economic rights and fair work hours. And there was one particular incident on March 25, 1911, wherein 140 working women died in a tragic fire in one of the factories in New York City. And these women were among those who participated in the rallies protesting against unfair labor practice, against inhuman working conditions, and the very low salaries that women were given at that time. So the month of March was recommended not only to commemorate the lives of those who perished in the tragic fire, involving working women, but more importantly, to address the issues concerning them. And then sabi mo nga, bakit mahalagang mag-celebrate tayo ng Women's Month? Especially for us in the public sector because Ito mahalagang platform ito. Ngayon kasi 2021 Women's Month celebration, ang theme talaga niyan, ano siya, nasa ano tayo, pandemic, 'di ba? So ito na yung will serve as a tribute, okay? And then a platform and a call to action na rin that highlights the extraordinary roles of ordinary Juanas in our society as trailblazers of change. And then this will also be a good venue for all of us to discuss and address the continuing and emerging gender issues that we face so that we can really achieve gender empowerment. And then by participating also, then we join the call for concrete, sustainable, and inclusive actions towards gender equality.
Alright. Maraming salamat, Director Sally. Ang malinaw, meron po tayong mga legal mandates sa
Yes.
pagkakaroon nga ng celebration or mga program or activities. At syempre, hindi lang natin pinili yung buwan ng Marso dahil gusto lang po natin ito. Kung
Mm.
meron din siyang pinanggalingan na historical basis. At napakaganda rin po nung nabanggit nga ninyo na ginagamit po natin ang pagkakataong ito para talagang lalong isulong ang pagrespeto, pagmamahal, at pagkakaroon ng maraming programa para sa ating mga kababaihan at ganoon din sa mga kasama po natin sa pamahalaan. So nabanggit nyo party din kanina yung ating mga celebrations. Siyempre may mga tema po tayo. Nakita din natin sa screen. Ulitin lang po natin, Director Sally, for this year, ano nga po ba yung ating theme?
Yes, tama ka, Mark. Ang theme for this year is Juana, laban sa pandemya, kaya. So naiiba ito from the previous celebrations that we had because we are still in the middle of the pandemic. So against a COVID-19 backdrop tayo, no? And we all know na during the pandemic, there were a lot of issues, challenges, but also opportunities na rin for women. And for this year specifically, we would want to highlight yung naging role ng ating mga kababaihan in fighting the pandemic. You know, Mark, ang daming mga frontliners natin, no? Not only from the medical or health-related fields, but even sa non-medical, who are really our unsung heroes, mga kababaihan na tumulong para dito, para tayo aangat dito sa pandemya na to. So ito na rin, opportunity na rin natin to discuss kasi maraming gender issues din na nag-crop up during the pandemic. Alam naman natin, no, na marami ding kababaihan na nawala ng work or kaya may malaking adjustment na ginagawa. Kasi yung iba biglang nagka-work from home. And then meron silang mga anak na nag-online classes din. So yung role na yun plus the present domestic chores na ginagampanan ng mga kababaihan, yung marital obligation. So the way to balance, sometimes it could take a toll on the mental health of our women. Kaya maganda na pag-usapan natin yung mga issues na ganito, not only during the Women's Month, but all throughout the year.
Correct. At saka wala pong pandemya ang makakapigil nga dito sa mga activities na ginagawa natin. Kayang-kaya lahat ng roles and responsibilities. Napakaganda po na na-highlight ninyo that aside do sa mga workplaces, napakalaki din ng nagiging role ng mga kababaihan lalo sa kanilang mga tahanan. At syempre, dahil nga kakaiba tayo, marami tayong mga new transitions, nandito tayo sa mga bagong mga panahon. Paano nga po ba naiba yung Women's Month celebration sa Civil Service Commission ngayong taon kumpara sa mga nakaraang taon? At syempre, Director Sally, bago niyo po yan sagutin, ini-encourage namin yung iba't ibang agencies na nanonood sa ngayon, paano niyo po sinelebrate or sineselebrate or ano yung inyong mga activities para bumabasa natin mamaya after po natin na makasagot si Director Sally. Sige po ma'am, go ahead po.
Okay, so since we are still in the middle of the pandemic, so while we celebrate, we also have to comply with the government's health protocols and restrictions, such as the prohibition on mass gathering. So that's why, Mark, all of our activities were done through online platforms. So continue pa rin. Meron tayong, of course, kick-off na naganap in the first week of March. And ang maganda doon, immediately after the kick-off, nag-start na yung ating session, and we focused on providing basic financial education for women in the Civil Service Commission and their families and the lessons drawn from the pandemic. So, ang online session natin was entitled Economic Empowerment for Women Amidst the Pandemic. And this was where we invited the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, especially the Financial Education Division, as our subject matter experts. So in that session, we were taught about the basic concepts of investing, about income, savings, expenses, and even yung mga scams or mga fraudulent transactions. Kasi alam mo naman, Mark, nung nag-pandemic, maraming mga kababaihan na online business, di ba? Para kumita at magkaroon ng extra income for the family. So maganda yung feedback nung session na yon sa atin, sa mga officials and employees natin sa commission. And then another activity that we conducted, Mark, ito yung online forum or learning session natin on GEDSI mainstreaming in the Civil Service Commission. So yung online forum na ito was participated in by our GFPS. Ito yung Gender and Development Focal Point System. And also yung participants natin to the short course on GEDSI mainstreaming sponsored by the Australia Awards Alumni Engagement Program Philippines. Itong mga scholars natin, in that session, they shared their re-entry action plan. So how they were able to identify and address gender issues and gaps. So ang gandang sharing, pinakita nila yung mga re-entry action plan and how they implemented it para maka-learn din lahat. And then we took this opportunity na rin, and I hope the other agencies will also do it, na to review the composition of the GFPS members, to update regarding the roles and responsibilities, and hopefully lahat mag-reorient. Kasi itong GFPS is a very, very important group as they are tasked to catalyze and to accelerate gender mainstreaming in their respective agencies. And then lastly, Mark, meron tayong culminating activity na done pa rin virtually. And this year, specifically, we highlighted and celebrated women and the gains we achieved from the CSC's GAD mainstreaming efforts through the years. And we also showcased all our regional offices' GAD activities through a video presentation. So those were some of the online activities that were conducted in celebration of the National Women's Month.
Yes, nakakatuwa po, no? Kasi talagang kahit ngayon na pandemic or gumagamit tayo ng online, napakarami pa rin po nating creativity na pwedeng ipakita para maisakatuparan ng mga programa nga pong ito. Ganon din, ini-encourage namin na mag-share po yung iba't ibang mga agencies tulad nung nakikita po natin na halimbawa sa DILG from Thea Peleja, during daw po ng kanilang celebration ng Mondays po ng March ay may mga webinars sila na nag-uusapan po yung tungkol sa GAD, sa GEDSI, and yung mga Spaces Act. Nagkaroon din ng mga TikTok challenge kasi usong-uso po yun ngayon kung saan ang nagiging theme nga daw nila ay yung tungkol sa women empowerment. At kanina, nagkaroon nga daw sila ng culminating activity and awarding. So congratulations po sa ating DILG and thank you really for sharing support dito pa po sa ating Women's Month celebration. And gamitin natin yung platform, lalo na wider yung reach po natin, ano, Director Sally? Ito mga webinar ito para reach tayo ng maraming audience, lalo na pag may mga info dissemination and all other programs. And Director, nabanggit kanina ni Thea from DILG, actually estudyante ko po siya before, na pinagin sa tungkol niya dito, dati we're using Gender and Development or GAD. Now we are using GEDSI or Gender Equality, Disability, and Social Inclusion. What is GEDSI and why is it important?
Yes. It is an acronym nga, Mark, tama ka, Gender Equality or Equity, Diversity, and Social Inclusion. In our Magna Carta of Women, Republic Act 9710, there is a definition of gender equality. So it refers to the principle asserting the equality of men and women and their right to enjoy equal conditions, realizing their full potential. So it is in this law where we are mandated to obtain sana a 50-50 ratio or gender balance for third level positions in the bureaucracy. So yung third level positions are those held by our undersecretary, assistant secretary, bureau director, or regional director. So to push for gender equality, so yun ang mandate, sana makamit ang 50-50 ratio. But let me share also, Mark, na when I attended the short course on GEDSI through the Australia Awards, separately taken or individually defined ang gender, ang equity, ang diversity, and social inclusion. So in our discussion doon sa gender, we use the definition provided by the United Nations. So ito yun na pag gender daw, it refers to social attributes and yung mga opportunities associated with being a male and a female. So ito yun usually, societal norms ang gender, di ba? What is expected of women and men. So it can be learned and it is variable through the years, yung gender. On the other hand, pag sabihin natin equity, ito yung process of ensuring that everyone gets a fair treatment given differences in gender roles, responsibilities, and needs. So equity speaks of differences as a starting point, and then how we analyze to respond to these differences so that we can introduce needs-based responses. So I'll just cite a concrete example, Mark. For example, there are three people of different height, and they are watching a football game. But their view is being obstructed by a fence. May nakaharang. And so you want to provide something to them. Like for example, a box for them to step on, papatong sila doon para makakita sila unhampered doon sa football game. So remember, tatlong persons with different height. If you say equality, so you will give exactly the same box for the three people. But if you say equity, you look at first their differences. So the box that you will give to the tall person will not be the same as the box that you will give to the short person or even to a person with disability. So meaning you recognize that the three have differences and you address first their differences. So para din merong concrete na example yan, parang pag equality, sasabihin natin, you give everyone a shoe. Pero pag equity, you give everyone a shoe that fits. Okay? So, malinaw yan. Ito namang diversity kasi gusto natin maging diverse ang ating workplace, di ba? So, pag sinabi daw mayroong diversity, it is a team comprised of group of people that is reflective of the broader society's demographics. So, meron kasi tayong social identity wheel na nandyan lahat yung all people regardless of age, religion, yung sexual preferences, gender identity, parental status, disability, marital status, national origin, religion, and many others. So pag diverse, kukuha ka ng mga ganung team. Dapat merong ganyan wala kang discrimination na dapat itong group lang ang included sa team natin. So yan yung diversity in the workplace. Pag sinabi naman nating social inclusion, especially in the workplace, so meron dapat na efforts ang mga organization to ensure that everybody feels part of the team. So regardless of their diverse backgrounds and their experiences. So if we say we have an inclusive workplace, it is one where everyone is treated fairly and is safe to bring their whole and authentic selves to work. So napaka-importante no na maging GEDSI responsive ang ating mga organizations.
Alright. Thank you, Director Sally. Napaka-enlightening. Ang dami namin natutunan with that explanation po of yours. And syempre, napakaganda nga yung feeling that you are not left behind. Kaya talagang maganda na ini-include natin po ang lahat. At syempre, bago po natin talakayin ang mga initiatives ng Civil Service Commission kaugnay ng Women's Month and Gender Inclusive Workplace, panandalian lang po tayong mag-break para sa ilang announcements. Huwag po kayong aalis, magbabalik po ang LunChat with CSC.
Sino ang lingkod bayani? Ang Komisyon ng Serbisyo Sibil ay nagdaraos ng taonang search for outstanding government workers upang parangalan ang mga tapat, mahusay at katangi-tanging kawani ng pamahalaan. Sila ang nagsisilbing ehemplo ng serbisyo publiko. May kilala ka bang lingkod bayani? Kung ikaw ay isang head of agency, human resource management practitioner o di kaya'y concerned citizen, maaari kang mag-nominate ng isang lingkod bayani sa pamahalaan. Makipag-ugnayan sa Honor Awards Program Secretariat sa telephone number 9320381 o kaya mag-email sa payo.hub@csc.gov.ph o mag-text sa contact center ng bayan sa 0908-881-6565. Ating bigyang papugay ang mga karapat-dapat na lingkod bayani sa ating lipunan.
Malapit na po, welcome back mga kalanchi, at malapit na nga po ang deadline ng submission of nominations para sa 2021 Search for Outstanding Government Workers. Naka-flash po sa ating screen kung paano ninyo maipapadala ang inyong mga nominations. At kasama pa rin po natin si Director 3 Sally Petaca ngayon sa pagtalakay nga ng Women's Month and GEDSI. Director Sally, ano naman po ba yung mga current initiatives, the Civil Service Commission, to make sure that our workplace are inclusive? And can this be adopted also by other agencies as well?
Yes, Mark. Swerte tayo because before the pandemic, we were able to conduct a GEDSI forum. That was in August 2019. So yung GEDSI forum natin seeks to increase awareness of GEDSI concepts and the importance of workplace inclusivity and diversity. So that was attended to by CSC officials and employees, including other representatives from different agencies. And then months after, we issued a very important policy. Ito yung Internal Equal Opportunity Principle or EOP policy in the 4 areas of human resource management, namely recruitment, selection and placement, learning and development, performance management, and rewards and recognition. So let me share some of the important provisions of our EOP in the hope na yung other agencies also can learn. So we have a provision there that for all HR committees, so alam natin meron tayong HRMPSB, meron tayong praise committee, meron tayong performance management team, and then yung human resource development committee. So we encourage na alternate members should come from persons with disability, from those from any sexual orientation and gender identity and expression, and doon sa mga marginalized or vulnerable groups para marami din silang may input. And then we were able to craft mechanisms to ensure na if we have, for example, in the RSP, meron tayong applicants, Mark, no, na for example, blind. So if we have blind applicants, insofar as Braille is not yet available in the CSC, so dalawang staff shall be provided to assist the applicant. So yung isa as dictation officer and then another one as transcriber. And then if we have applicants with low vision or partially blind, so the test questions during the written exam should be in a bigger font or at least 50% larger than the regular font. And then pag meron din tayong mga applicants na deaf or hard of hearing, so the instructions shall be in writing or a trained staff on sign language shall assist the applicant. And of course, kung meron tayong pregnant women, solo parent with child, or senior citizens, so as much as possible, they should take the exam in the ground floor o hindi na natin paakyatin. And then now that we have transitioned into online recruitment, so nagiging din ito opportunity for all to apply regardless of geographic location. So we had a surge of applicants talaga kasi the barrier before na yung taga malayo siya, na we were able to remove na kasi online na lahat tayo. Okay, so meron din tayong importanteng provision, Mark, sa learning and development. Alam natin no na itong CSC palaging nagkakandak ng mga trainings and seminars. So we ensure na when we get a learning service provider, as much as possible, GEDSI advocates din sila. Aside from taking into account yung kanilang education or expertise or experience. And then in all our conduct of learning and development activities, dapat we use gender fair and bias-free language, examples and illustrations sa lahat ng learning materials natin. And then, participants sa L&D natin from all gender should be encouraged and given the opportunities to give their views and provide inputs during the discussion. And then I will cite also yung performance management kasi importante din ito yung mga target setting and then yung mag-craft ng mga deliverables sa office. So nakalagay dito na work schedule may be adjusted to allow our employees to observe the religious practices. Kasi meron tayong mga Muslim brothers and sisters and sometimes they have to observe yung Ramadan, di ba? So, yun ang importante din, i-consider sila. And then employees with disability shall not be given targets that are difficult or inconsistent with their religious belief. And then lastly, Mark, dito sa ating rewards and recognition, ang importante dito, in all stages of our search and awarding, kasi meron tayong office level, meron tayong commission level na praise, so dapat i-observe natin yung EOP principle. So wala tayong ma-discriminate, and then wala tayong ibang basis for the award, kundi talagang merit and accomplishments. So hindi natin titingnan na yung age niya, yung gender, civil status, disability, religion, or ethnicity. And then when we conduct activities related to our praise, so we ensure na people who live with physical or sensory impairments are not limited to participate. And then banggit ko din kanina na may GEDSI short course pala tayo. So yun ginawa natin. We sent our officials and employees to that GEDSI short course. So maganda yung nangyari. Kasi ang dami nilang nagawang RIP to address mga gender issues in the respective regional or field offices. So diverse din ang RIP. Meron RIP doon on mainstreaming GEDSI, and then they're targeting their specific agency. Like yung RIP ng isang regional office natin, tinarget niya yung agency na where they conducted yung prime HRM. And then meron ding RIP on capacitating the workforce in terms of GEDSI. Then meron ding RIP na nag-make ng compendium on important laws affecting marginalized or vulnerable groups. And then to finally, Mark, kasi right now we are crafting important policies na mga HR policies. So isa na doon yung occupational safety and health standards. And then isa pa rin doon yung ni-revise natin yung praise guidelines. So when we craft all of these policies, we ensure na incorporated na yung GEDSI concepts natin.
Alright. Thank you, Director Sally. Talagang napakarami po nating mga HR initiatives to really ensure gender equality, inclusivity, at saka nga po itong diversity. Meron lang tayong pahabol na question, Director Sally, before we let you go. Medyo Miss Universe question po ito actually. For you, Director Sally, what do you celebrate about being a woman? I-encourage po natin yung mga nanonood sa atin. How about you guys? How about you, mga kapwa ko lingkod bayani? What do you celebrate about being a woman?
Yes, there are a lot of things to celebrate being a woman because we have come a long way from the time that I mentioned we were fighting for our rights, even the right to vote, to what we are now. We are regarded as trailblazers and major contributors to nation development. And ako, Mark, personally, I celebrate being a woman through the small and conscious decisions I make on a daily basis. So it could be being a pillar of strength or a cheerleader to a fellow woman who might be feeling down or is undergoing something, or I can be someone to empower or to encourage other women and girls to speak up and find their voices, or just simply supporting women advocacy groups. We have a lot right now which are online na siya. So maganda, like ako, I'm a member of a breastfeeding group for women sa online. And then for me, just being a woman, and then you use it to encourage all people, diba, from all genders, to be involved and become equal advocates for gender parity.
Alright, thank you, Director Sally. Sino po ba yung pinaka-most influential for you? Influential woman for you, and how did this woman po inspire you?
Yes, marami din, but I don't have to look further. Within my family circle, I could cite none other than my own mother. She passed away already, but she was a mother of 9 children. So I could just imagine how difficult it was to raise 9 children with diverse personalities. But her greatest joy was seeing all of us not only finish college, but becoming responsible and God-fearing citizens. And outside of my circle, Mark, I can cite or I can pick Mother Teresa, or she's now Saint Teresa of Calcutta, because ito talaga, she's the ultimate role model of charity, compassion, and selflessness. And lalo na tayo, nasa government service tayo, and we're mandated to provide and to be committed to public interest. So nakaka-inspire si Mother Teresa, and siya din ang someone who showed what universal love means. Ito yung helping people regardless of color, race, and religion.
Alright. Any parting message, Director Sally, para po sa ating mga viewers?
Yes, so thank you so much, Mark, and to all the viewers. So to the women, to the girls, and those who identify as such, as they say, there is no limit to what we can accomplish. And through the years, we have proven our worth. We have excelled in different fields, even in male-dominated work environments or occupations. But still, we have yet to close the gender gap. And we're still hearing a lot of reports on violence, discrimination, and harassment against women. So it may take years before we can really we will be able to obtain that or to close the gender gap. So we still have to really to continue to be supportive of one another, and then we have to continue to empower ourselves, and let us all create that opportunity to always have to seek a gender responsive environment. So tayo na dapat yun, every time we see an opportunity na tayo advocate on gender or GEDSI responsiveness, gagawin natin. And lastly, para sa akin, Mark, itong advocacy natin should not only be months long, but it should be lifelong. So thank you so much, Mark.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong panahon na binigay sa LunChat with CSC Director Sally. And for sure, marami po sa atin na nakakuha ng mga impormasyon at inspirasyon, lahat po ng mga taga-subaybay natin dahil po sa inyong mga ibinahagi. So magbabalik po ang LunChat with CSC sa ilang sandali lamang.
Di ba dapat ikaw ay aming kilalanin? Di ba dapat ikaw ay aming mahalin? Di ba dapat desisyon mo ay tangkilikin? Pagkat mahalaga ito sa kinabukasan bawat isa sa amin. Wana, oh, wana, ikaw na, oh, ikaw na. Desisyon mo ay mahalaga sa kinabukasan bawat isa. Kung ang mundo'y matututunan kang kilalanin, pagkat ikaw man ay may halaga sa mundo natin. Likas ang tapang mo, ganda at galing na siyang nagtataglay. Bukod tangi ka sa aming puso pagtingin. Wana, oh, wana, ikaw na, oh, ikaw na. Desisyon mo ay mahalaga kalikasan, sa kinabukasan, sa kinabukasan ng bawat isa.
Ayan mga kalanchi, ang inyo pong nasasaksihan o nasaksihan po na video ay likha ng isa naming kasama sa Civil Service Commission. Maraming salamat, Mr. Emil Gapit. Idinededicate po niya ang kanyang video na yan at awitin. Unang-unang syempre po sa kanyang asawa, ganun din po sa lahat ng kababaihan po dito sa ating bansa and all over the world. Muli po, maraming salamat sa lahat po na nakasama natin ngayong episode na ito. Diyan na po nagtatapos ang naging makabuluhan nating diskusyon at muli nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyong pagtutok. Again, ang LunChat with CSC po ay ang monthly Facebook live program ng Civil Service Commission where we tackle CSC's latest policies, programs, services, and other important announcements. Kaya po kung meron kayong request, gusto niyo pong mapakinggan dito sa LunChat with CSC, maaari po kayong mag-email o magmungkahi sa amin. Kaya highly consider po namin ang inyong mga recommendations. Abangan niyo po kami every last Friday of the month. Tandaan po ninyo ang schedule every last Friday of the month. Nagkaroon lang po tayo ng special arrangement for this month, kaya po naging Lunes. Para po sa mga CSI Learning and Development Programs, huwag niyo pong kalilimutan na bumisita sa csi.csc.gov.ph under training calendar. Kailangan niyo po mag-register and follow other requirements bago po kayo mapabilang sa aming mga training programs. And kapag po kayo ay may mga complaints, may mga requests for assistance, suggestions, and commendations on government transactions, huwag niyo pong kalilimutan na mag-reach out sa contact center ng bayan at email at contactcenter ng bayan.gov.ph or mag-text po kayo sa 0908-881-6565. Hanggang sa susunod po nating pagkikita mga kalanchi sa isa na namang napakagandang episode at napaka-makabuluhan. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng bumati, nagbigay ng inyong mga katugunan sa aming pong mga questions. Thank you very much po. My name again is Mark Anthony Gonzalez Malitan and see you all next time.